Abby, 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 Abby.
Welcome back to another episode of the Sledder Cast podcast. We're still hanging out here in North Branch, Minnesota at good old heydays. And we've got two fellows over here, Jake and Mason. Probably may not recognize them without, helmet and on a snowmobile, but we're going to get to know these guys a little bit better today. And they're going to talk about their Avalanche experience. So you are probably familiar with their experience. We'll get into that later. This was in the Wyoming?
Yep.
Wyoming or Idaho side?
Wyoming, yep.
Wyoming. Mason had the GoPro on his helmet. Jake was the rider who instigated the avalanche. I'm going to try and maybe I'll grab the actual video from you guys.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we can overlay, portions of the video as we're talking about it.
For sure.
All right.
Yep.
But we're humans. We got attention spans. They're shrinking like daily.
Big time.
Big time, right? And so the question I have for you guys is, knowing what the conversation is about today, what are you going to say to that person who right now is literally just swiping through? They catch the first part of this episode. What can you guys tell that person that's going to get them excited and motivated to watch the entire episode here?
I think mostly just the fact that, like I was saying earlier, we're just two regular boys from the Midwest. He moved out west, and I still live out here, and going out there, and just like any other normal guy, just out there riding, never think it'll happen to them, and the unexpected can happen very fast.
Yeah. Real quick.
And like the life-threatening experience that we went through is kind of extreme to like other people,
Yeah.
like they're like to listen to it,
Yeah. Yeah, so I think, and we haven't talked about this yet either. So this will be a first time. I mean, I saw the video when it posted, but so we're going to get to kind of play through this again with you guys. And I think the key here is putting ourselves in your shoes, because it really can happen to anyone at any time.
Fast.
Mother Nature does not give a crap
Our
how
best-
much experience
yeah.
you have, right? Like
I
So-
said, I mean, that was the first avalanche I've ever seen, and I was in it,
Yeah.
You never know what can happen out there.
Yeah. So to kick things off here, who are you guys? What do you do? Where do you live? Where do you ride? What do you do so you can ride?
Yeah.
I'm Mason Zach. I live right here in North Branch. Grew up here my whole life. Started going out west a couple of years ago and kind of met him out there, and that's kind of how we became friends. Local carpenter, so I kind of work all summer.
Yep.
Make enough money to go out and play all winter. Last year I went out for 2 months. That was the longest I've ever been out there.
Yeah.
And kind of
Last year was when you showed up on his doorstep and
In my
said, "I'm moving
driveway."
in, bud."
yeah, with the topper and the old 7.3 and put a heater in the back and an air mattress and stuff and slept in his driveway all winter.
Yeah. What time's breakfast every day?
Yep, pretty much.
Nice. And Jake?
Yeah, my name's Jake Dahl. Grew up here in Rush City, Minnesota. Me and my girlfriend actually headed west about 5 years ago, and we just been living there ever since, living the dream, man.
Just packed up. So what was it? Was it like, hey, woke up one day and said, we're going west? What was it?
So me and some boys went riding out there. I think it was 2019, early 2019, and I just thought the place was sick. So 6 months later, we were just kind of chilling. I think it was that summer, the 4th of July. We were just chilling, and Sam's uncle was just saying, like, dude, you guys got to do something. Like, get out of this place. I've been working here my whole life. I'm just kind of sick of it. And it was that night we started looking up rentals in the area. And we realized pretty quick Jackson Hole is pretty expensive place to live. So
A little pricey over on that side, of,
yeah.
on
So-
that side of the mountain.
that's how we stumbled upon Star Valley. Just found a rental that we could afford, and 2 weeks. I think it was like 2-3 weeks later we went and looked at a rental.
Yeah.
And I looked at Google Earth, dude, and there's a track in the backyard, and I'm like, dude, this
Perfect.
is the one.
Done deal.
Yep. So, yeah, I moved out there and been there ever since. I've got a couple little businesses. I've got a little trash business I take care of in Jackson there, and
Yep.
then a little landscape business down in Star Valley as
Cool.
well. Yep. So,
Cool. So did Sam ride sleds while you guys were here in Minnesota, or did she pick that up?
she kind of picked it up out there. I mean, she rode like little trail sleds here and there in Minnesota, but yeah, kind of picked it up out there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, glad you guys are here, and I'm excited to get into kind of the meat and potatoes here of this experience. So let's go back. So this is, who knows when you're listening to this podcast, but this was 2024. So earlier this winter, tee up the time frame, snow conditions, where we were at,
Yep.
relatively speaking.
So it was early mid-January?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
So
It was kind of a weird start to the year.
Yeah.
It was really bad.
Yeah, I mean, there was just some weird layers, and
snow just finally started dumping like that middle of January.
That's
Yeah.
why we were so gung-ho
Yeah,
that
yeah,
day.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
it was the best day.
killer
Yep.
day, dude.
Yeah.
Killer day. Yeah,
Yep.
so it just kind of started like we were just ripping through there, and I got that 7S screen,
Yep.
and we were just literally just following that screen, and
I was just hot on his tail, and it was like our best day in the trees like all year. So we were just on a high for sure, just
for
ripping.
sure. Yeah.
Did you guys have a destination, or was it just like, hey, we're gonna hit this zone and we're just gonna play around today?
Yeah, I mean, no destination really.
Kind of just going for a big loop.
Yep.
We were just about to head back there.
And it was you two, and then also Devin. Was
Yep,
there anyone
Devin
else in
Thornock.
the
Just the three of us.
just the three of you guys?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. You already said the stoke level was high because we'd been deprived of snow for so long,
For
or
sure. Time.
relatively long in the season, right? Was there any thought of Avalanche? Like, maybe just walk us through kind of like normally what you guys would do and compared to what was done on that day.
I mean,
Pretty
go ahead.
normal day. It was just, we did our beacon check in the parking lot, and we were actually going to start vlogging that day
Yep.
to see how many days we could ride in a row. Because they got their, their little thing stoked out society
Yep.
going
Yep.
on. So
Yep.
we were going to start vlogging for that and see how many days we could ride in a row, kind of for some content.
And this
that
is day
was day
one.
one.
Oh,
Yeah.
geez.
Like, we kind of set the camera up in the parking lot. We kind of talked a little bit to the camera for the first time, and
Yep.
went out ripping just like a normal day. We're taking videos, like a lot of videos were taken that day.
Yeah.
Like our best day on the snow to like the worst day.
Yeah.
Like real quick.
Uh-huh.
But we seen some avalanches, or I did. We were at SledFest a week or two before that. And that was my first time seeing any sort of avalanche. I seen a couple little ones. Like I triggered run kind of coming up the hill, and it was really small.
Yeah.
It didn't run out or anything. It was just like a little slab break.
Yeah.
And that was my only experience with an avalanche before that.
Yeah, so I'm going back into the memory bank here. That last half of January, it seemed like across the board in that area, Highland Park, down south to where you guys were, Avi Danger it seemed like it was pretty consistently high.
Every day,
Just
yeah.
because there was really nothing, and then we got some really good snow there.
Yep.
For a little bit. What's like? What had been your avalanche training before?
So I had taken Area 1 a week or two prior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like right then.
So the thing with that was is I'm kind of like a hands-on guy, I kind of got to learn things that way. And with the Abbey course, everything was in class. The Abbey Danger was high, so they wouldn't even take us into the backcountry and show us anything. So kind of wish I would have seen some of that, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
I had no Avi training up to there. I did a couple of seminars here in Minnesota.
Sure.
Like refresher courses, just
Yep.
the little things, just thinking I was doing enough.
Yep.
But I wanted to get Area 1 or whatever, and looking at classes and just couldn't line it up for the time I was
Yeah.
out there. leading up to it now, I'm definitely going to do some.
Oh, for sure. And as far as equipment goes, what equipment were you guys running?
For avalanche gear?
gear.
Yeah, so here's the thing is, so like when I got caught in that
yeah.
avalanche, I had been running like a ABS, one of those old ABS bags for like the past 4 years. And at Sledfest, I picked up one of the new climb bags. And when that avalanche hit me, you know, I'm grabbing for the handle of the trigger or whatever. And on the new climb bag, the handle switches sides. So I'm grabbing this
your
side.
reflex
Yeah,
of
but I'm
just
grabbing the radio,
the wrong
you know.
side,
Yep.
yeah.
So by the time I realized it hit me, and there's, you know, nothing I could do. Yeah.
I just had a BCA bag and
Okay, so you
BCA
have
radio.
a radio, bags, transceiver,
Yep.
Yep.
probe,
Yep.
Hold.
shovel.
Yep.
Yep.
So, you have the equipment,
Yep.
and just going back, right? Like, you wish you had a little bit more on snow, in-person training.
Yeah.
Well,
like-
even just like experience with the gear, like obviously, you know, like I didn't know that trigger was like that. And then even like when we took that airy course, you learn what that beacon does, what that beeping does. So I learned that in the course, you know,
Yeah.
so that was good.
Yeah.
But
Just mostly looking like being able to look at a hill and figuring out like, all right, this should be a hill that we shouldn't hit just because of the slope on it or maybe the slab on the top or something. Like that's what I'd like to know a little bit more for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So, let's get a picture painted. Let's paint a picture here for everyone. All right. So we start off from the trail or the parking lot in the morning. We're kind of going to do a loop and play around. We're filming day one
Yep.
of a big vlog series.
Yep.
Right. So probably a lot of stop and go, film, shoot.
Yep.
Right. What part of the day? I mean, obviously it was like the thing you did
Yep.
on the snow, but I guess morning, afternoon, night, evening when you're packing up. Like what part of the ride was this? Did this experience happen?
one more.
One more.
Just one more.
We
Yep.
stopped and it was take a right to head out, go up the hill and go down to the trail. We were all tired and
Yep.
hungry, and I wanted to do some more re-entries. I was trying to learn how to do those. And
Yep.
I was honestly looking for a little steeper hill, not for the consequence, but we looked and we're like, let's go hit one more.
Yep.
We took a left and went down the creek a little bit, and that was it.
Yeah.
Within minutes later.
How did you guys hit that? Because you had hit it. Didn't you guys hit it a couple times before?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
like
went up once or twice,
Yeah.
each of
Before,
us.
each of you guys.
And Jake did a big, kind of aired out a re-entry in the sled. You see in the video, kind of kicked out and slammed, and I think that's what initially triggered it.
Uh-huh. So you go and hit it a couple times. You come back down. Still in this moment, your avalanche radar, like in mentally, your mental radar.
Yep.
Was anything beeping at you? Like anything going off?
We were being safe throughout the day. There was a couple hills we looked at. We're like, no, we're not going to hit that one. We're trying to be safe throughout the day, and this was towards the end of the day, so I think our judgment was off for sure.
Yeah.
And just now looking back at that hill, that definitely wasn't a hill we should have been on
No,
that day.
not at all.
It
Yeah.
was, but I think we were so mind blocked because we were ripping through the trees. Like the stoke was high for sure.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
everything was just tunnel vision right there.
Yeah, you kind of test something. Nothing happens.
That's
you get a
what's
little
just it.
looser.
Exactly.
Yep.
Maybe you try a little bit more. You get a
That's
little
what
bit
it was.
looser.
I think you maybe went a little bit higher on that one
Yep.
too.
Yeah.
I was just about to head up right after him, and that's why I seen it or whatever.
Yeah. Okay, so we're looking at the hillside here. What does the terrain? Try and paint a picture for like the terrain, the aspect here that we're looking at.
So
Are
it was,
we in a
it was a pretty
drainage?
big. No, it's just kind of a hillside, and there was just a little opening where there
What's the
wasn't any
runout
trees.
look like down at the bottom?
Just kind of the trees just cut off.
Yeah,
honestly.
kind of like came down like this, and then there was a creek down here. So we came kind of through the trees right here, and it kind of opened up.
Okay.
And it was steep here, and it kind of sloped out.
Yep.
And that's kind of where I was sitting, and then Jake was going up, and
Yep.
it was just a little opening in the trees,
Just a
really.
little opening that
Yeah.
gave you enough space to kind of practice a few.
And I think that's
technique
what
and
gave us
maneuvers.
more confidence was
Yeah.
it being in the trees,
trees,
kind of.
yeah, yeah,
you know,
yeah.
you feel like
Hey,
you're
we're in the
safer in the
trees.
trees. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. So there's three of you. Position you guys on the mountain right now. So we are we are getting right up to the climb or the pole that's going to trigger the avalanche.
Yep.
Yeah.
Where is everyone on the mountain? On the
So
hill?
I was up at the top. You know, I lost my sled.
So you're up on the top.
Yep. I was walking back up to it. Devin, he was on like the hill, but kind of off to the side, like
Yeah,
middle of the
he was
hill. Yep.
Behind me.
Yep. And
So I
then
was-
Mason, he was just
I was
about
directly
to come
below
up.
you.
Yep.
I was looking right up at you, and then Devin was kind of behind me.
Okay, so Jake, Mason.
Yep. And then Devin would be over to the left.
Yep.
Devin's over here.
There
Yep.
we go.
Our
Yep.
left, you're right. Our left over here.
Yep.
Equal parallel to you, or
Yeah, he was pretty much parallel with me.
is he just sitting?
He was coming down from his hit.
Okay, so he was coming. Yeah, because I think you see in the video, you
can see him come
coming
by.
down,
Yep.
right?
Yep. So he's actually facing the other way.
Doesn't know what's
Doesn't
going
even
on.
know. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't even know if he knew Jake was off his snowmobile.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the setup.
Yep.
Jake goes up,
Launches the sled.
launches the sled.
Yep.
I remember I was hyped. I was like, dude, that was sick.
Yeah,
I
that
was like,
sick.
dude, that was crazy.
This is gonna be a great vlog, right?
Yeah,
here.
right there.
Vlog number 1. Yep. At what moment, Jake, did you realize this is different?
So I started walking back up to my sled because I just kind of launched it up a little bit, and I started walking up.
Oh,
Yeah, I was off
Oh.
the sled. I wasn't on the sled.
He
so
wiped
it
out.
didn't happen like immediately.
No,
did-
I
it
mean
did
it
actually up
broke
at the-
way
Oh,
at the
it was
top.
way up
Yeah,
there.
it was
Way
like
up
100
there.
yards up.
Yeah.
And so I was just walking up, and all of a sudden I hear just Mason just screaming on the Abby. I'm just like looking down at my feet, and I just
You
see
hear him
snowballs.
scream?
Oh, yeah, he was on the radio.
On the radio.
Yep,
Yeah, because
yep.
on your
Abby,
video,
Abby.
you're saying Abby, Abby,
Yep.
Abby. Yeah,
Yep.
So I'm walking up, I just see snowballs ripping down, and the only thing I could do is just run. So I just turned around and started bucking it, trying to grab my Abby bag, you know, and by that time, you know, I didn't. Obviously, the trigger switched sides on my new bag, so I didn't realize it. And by that time,
You
took
were
me
trying
out.
to outrun an avalanche
Exactly.
coming at you 40 miles an hour.
Isn't
Yeah.
that crazy? I mean,
Yep.
that just goes to show, like, in
Seconds.
that moment,
Yep.
what is going on with your brain?
I thought I was dead, dude.
That like made you think
Mm-hmm.
that my chance here is to turn around and run.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, in snow, snow clothes, boots on.
Yep.
You were booking it, though.
I
You
mean,
were
dude,
cooking, dude.
What else do you do? You just
Yeah.
run,
Is
dude.
that on? That's you don't see that on the camera.
Not really.
right?
No.
For a split second, I think, because that's when I said Abby and I seen it, I think I looked, because I wanted to position myself to run away.
Yeah.
And that's what I was doing. I went to go turn around.
Okay.
So I split second, I wasn't looking, and then that's when I kind of pan over the other shoulder.
So if we go back up here to Jake again. Sorry, we're back up where Jake is.
Yep.
A question that people might have is, did you run downhill or did you run sideways?
I ran downhill.
So you ran downhill.
Yep.
So the next question is, in that moment, what made you think to run downhill versus sideways?
I don't know. I mean, just run
like
away,
instinct.
you know? I
Like-
don't know.
There's the problem.
Yep.
It's coming my way. I'm going to run away from it.
I mean, now thinking about it, like if it was just shooting down that gully, like obviously, yeah, I probably would have been better off running to the side, but it ripped through all those trees anyways. Like,
But when you looked up, were you like, could you tell the magnitude of like
no,
how
I
wide
just
it
saw
was?
snowballs ripping. Yep.
So you just didn't know, like,
No.
oh, it's a narrow slide. I could maybe run to the side and
Yeah.
get out of it, but
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
not even.
No.
It's just the natural instinct. Just
Yeah.
get the crap out of here.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so, what was the sound? Was there a sound? Can you remember a sound?
I didn't hear anything.
I didn't hear anything either.
You didn't hear anything?
No.
Did you feel? Was there a feeling? Like, could you feel anything?
No.
Nothing.
Just
Nothing.
A silent, deadly.
It was.
Yep.
Yep.
The people who actually, fast forward, and the people who actually saved me or whatever, they said that they heard it.
They heard it.
And they were like half a mile, 3/4
so
mile
maybe
away.
it kind of echoed across. Maybe.
Yeah, they
the-
said they
the
heard.
terrain.
Well, it ripped through the trees. I mean, the thing was probably
yeah.
100 yards wide, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Okay, so from the time that you saw from the time that you first looked up and well, you heard Abby, and then you looked up and saw it with your eyes. How long until the snow was on you? Like you were getting.
it was
going?
quick, dude. I mean, by the time I turned turned around, you know, I probably made it 5 steps down the hill, and I was out.
And when it first hit you, how did it take? Like, did it push you forward? Do you remember
Dude,
any of that?
it honestly just felt like a cloud took me. It wasn't like a hard hit or anything. It just kind of swept me away, to be honest. Yeah.
Hey guys and gals, if you love the show and want to support us, head on over to deviantinc.com. Use the code SledderCast, save some money on your next premium custom wrap. If you've spent any time on deviantinc.com, you already know it is the best, easiest custom wrap builder tool out there. With its new interactive design tools, makes designing and customizing wraps super slick. We're big fans of the new color mixer tool. It randomizes colors until you land on the perfect combo. A design mixer tool is a game changer when you already know what colors you want and you want to see all of our designs in just your pre-selected colors. So head on over to deviantinc.com, use the code SledderCast, save some money on your next wrap purchase. Let's get back to the show. Was it, I'm asking like some weird questions. I know I'm just like genuinely curious, but like before it hit you, were you able to maybe position, like were you able to like jump up or position yourself?
I was just running.
A way?
Yeah.
Or it was just like, oh.
Well, so what I think happened, you know, I was just running, and I think it just kind of swept my legs up from under me. And so like once it stopped, it was like I was sitting in a chair.
So when it hit you, you were going down forward like this, like no spinning, nothing. You just took it like this.
Yep. Actually, I mean, there could have been spinning because I lost my helmet too. It ripped my helmet off. So I don't know how that happened, but I just ended up like that. So I figured it just kind of swept me away, took my feet under me, and just kind of carried me down. But honestly, I don't know what happened.
And when everything stopped, what was your situation like at that moment?
So I had one hand exposed. And,
one hand's exposed?
Yep. So as soon as it stopped, I was like, dude, no way. I just sat there for a second. I was like, there's got to be a second wave coming. And I just sat there for like 5 seconds. And then I just started digging my face out, and just started screaming.
How far down? I mean, if your hand was out, maybe like, where were you? What was your head? Like 6 inches, a foot?
Yeah, it was probably like 6 inches under. And I was just able to dig my face out and just scream. That's all I could do.
Could you see light through the snow, or was it dark?
It was dark.
So it was dark.
Yep.
And did you know your hand was out because you could?
Yep, I could feel it. I could move it. Yep.
So you knew, okay, I'm near the top.
Yep.
Let me start digging my face out.
And so I dug my face out, started screaming, and my buddy Devin, he came running over, and he started digging me out, and I was like, dude, we're good. I watched Mason right away. We're good. And then next thing you know, these 3 boys come riding up, and all of a sudden they start running to the left with their beacons. I was like, oh, shit, dude. Where's Mason?
Yeah. Because when you were running down the hill, you saw Mason
I saw him dart out the woods, you know.
And Devin, was he far enough down, or was he far enough over?
So he wasn't far enough over. I mean, it ripped through those trees. He went down to that creek bed and came back.
He would have got hit, too, if he didn't move.
Yeah.
So there was enough run out before the creek bed to where things died down, and then
I mean, not really. He had to go basically all the way down to that creek. Oh. Yep. And then turn around and he came back up in there.
So Devin, he come back right back to you?
Yep.
He went straight to you?
Yep, because he could hear me screaming.
Yep.
Yep.
And then you didn't realize that Mason was buried.
No.
Until
so I thought we were good. When those 3 boys rode up, I was like, oh, Mason went and got there? No. Well,
randomly. Just pulled up.
Well, like, we passed them as we were going to that hill.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So there were, okay. So they knew where you guys kind of were going.
Yeah. Kind of went around the corner.
Were they in a position where they could see, or they just like heard something?
They just heard it.
They knew, hey, there's some sledders who went over there.
Yeah.
That kind of sounded like an avalanche.
Yeah, they were literally starting their snowmobiles to leave for the day.
What? I'm sure you guys sat down and chatted with them?
Oh yeah.
What? Maybe share as much as you can from their perspective up to this moment, because I know that they played a pretty big role with you, right? But up to this moment, maybe share what their experience was.
I think they were just packing up there. They were literally
Yep.
they're practicing hill climb. There's some local hill climb
Yep.
boys there, and they were practicing hill climb, and they heard it, and I think they were just coming over just to kind of check it out, just to see what was going on.
So were they? I mean, if we're talking about luck here, like were they just happened to like not be riding their snowmobiles?
Dude, yep. They
So they were just kind of
They were
sitting
just
around,
chilling.
getting
They were
ready to
about to head
pack,
out.
putting their bags together to
which
head out for the
allowed
day.
them to.
hear everything.
Okay.
Yep. It was like 4:30 that night. I don't know if we went over that already, but it's like sun's going down.
Yeah.
It's time to head out because we're back there a little bit, you know. And so they were
Whoa.
about to head out, and they were coming over, and they immediately, like, the training that they had was just perfect. They jumped out their snowmobiles, beacons out, like, before Jake was even unburied, I think.
But how did they?
I don't really know how they knew.
Did they zone in on you like quick?
One guy got a signal and he was going around, and otherwise they tracked me from Jake. And do you remember what the numbers were on that beacon?
I don't remember, no.
They tracked me from far away,
So
like
did
far.
they all come up to you first?
Yep. They
And
came
then
running up. They saw I was good, and then
we're
they
like, hey,
started
there's
running the
another
other
one.
way.
There's a third guy here,
Yep.
and that's when they turned it on.
Yeah, I think, did they have them out by the time they went up to you?
Yeah, dude, because I talked to Tanner, and he said, he's like, dude, get your beacons ready. When they heard it, over like where they heard it from, they were just
Get your
getting ready to
beacons ready.
start. Yeah, they were getting ready to head out, and they heard it rip through the trees, and he's like, dude, everybody get your beacons ready. We're ripping over there. And so they were dialed.
Yeah, they came with a plan. Like, they're educated.
I know there's some of the videos. Some of them were in a couple of the stories I think you shared, but who were they?
So there was
Do you know the name?
Tanner Thomas, Braden Dickey, and
Dante or whatever.
Yeah,
Sorry, his
Dante
last name.
Barber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so Tanner says pull the beacons out.
Yep.
And just,
It's go time.
Yep.
It could be go time if you
Yeah.
need them.
yeah, they were ready.
Okay, so let's flip to Mason.
All right.
Okay, so Jake's alive. Jake he's screaming. He's alive. He's screaming. Devin runs up to him. The hill climbers come over as well. Where the crap's Mason? Kind of have a general direction
Yep.
of where you last saw him.
Yep.
Yep.
Mason, now your angle.
Yep.
Okay. Walk us through. You're watching Jake go up. Just stomps one out. You're
Yep.
pumped. Great content. Vlog 1.
Yep,
Right.
yep.
Day 1. Whatever.
Yep. First,
And then you see the avalanche wall coming down up above Jake.
Yep.
Take us starters from there.
So, seeing Jake go up the hill and seeing him do that, I was kind of hyped up and looked up and just seen the snow coming down at Jake. So I was Abby. Kind of went around a little bit just to get myself positioned so I could run out.
Can I
But
pause you real quick?
Yeah.
Because when you're in that moment, is your brain able to decipher like big Abby, small Abby, or is it just like you're just like Abby, huge, big Abby? Like,
Yeah.
does it just go to there? Because you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was
like,
just.
could you easily tell like this is?
I couldn't. Just from like my brain or whatever, like I
Yeah.
just seen Abby and I was like, holy crap, this is
That's
bad.
bad.
This
This
is
is
it.
bad. This is
This is
bad.
going down.
Yeah, okay.
Like something in a video you see, you never think it'll happen to you. You see it online or on your phone, and
Yep.
I seen that coming down at Jake, and I'm like, dude, he's done.
Abby.
Yep.
Okay.
So I was thinking Jake was like, I'm like, all right, get myself positioned, and I wanted to turn around one more time just to see.
Your GoPro's on though.
Yeah, the whole time, and
It
that's
was already on before.
yeah, which is crazy because all year we have yet to whip out the GoPro. And this was my first day with my GoPro on my helmet. And, like, this is just me randomly turning it on, like, just watching Jake. I'm like, I'm going to go rip one, stomp one out real quick.
Yeah.
And they just turn on, Jake goes up, and that's when it happened.
Wow.
So, yeah, so my GoPro's on, and I kind of turn around, and I just pan over one more time just to see Jake, like, the last time I could see him. So that's what, like, my Avi training was like. If your buddy's getting buried, watch where he is.
Yep.
That's what you can do.
Keep
Best
eyes.
thing you can do
Yep.
is watch where he is. So I look back, I'm like, all right, kind of pinpointed, like referenced real fast, like, all right, he's right there. And then I looked and I seen it coming through the trees, just like Play-Doh, like just peeling through the trees. Took a couple trees down, I think even. And that's when I tried to hit the throttle before I even realized that it hit me already.
Jeez.
Yeah. Now, you were telling, like, before we hit record, this video got shared of yours
Yep.
all over the place.
Yeah.
Different perspective, different types of humans watch this thing.
Yeah.
What's some of the common themes you heard? You heard the armchair, the armchair quarterback say with you.
Yeah.
Because in your video, you hop on and
Yep.
you drive forward,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And what people are saying is, if the avalanche is coming down, why are you driving towards it? Is that kind of the, like...
Mostly it was just people bashing, kind of, because it was like, why would you stop and turn around and watch the avalanche come at you? Like,
Yeah, that's what it was.
yeah, they just, obviously they weren't there or whatever, and maybe a lot of those people don't even know what a even mountain or snowmobile riding
Yep.
is, And that was just it. It's like, I didn't know how fast it was coming at
Yeah.
me. Like, it was...
That's what it was, because you were yelling Avi, Avi, Avi,
Yep,
and
yep.
watching it. And I think that's where people were like, why didn't you just get the
Exactly.
crap
Run
out
away.
of there?
Yeah.
But what you're here to say is you're saying, I knew Jake was up there.
Yep.
I'm trying to watch.
That was the only thing on my mind, is just watching him. I was
I'm
like,
trying to watch him, yeah.
I wanted to save him. I was like, dude, he's going to get buried. Like,
Yeah.
this is bad.
Yeah, and that thing just came down quick.
It was coming
Quicker
way faster than I ever expected. Like, I
Yeah.
didn't even know they could go that fast.
So you're on your sled, and then what? Share with us, like, what were you doing on the sled when the moment that the snow hit you?
So I already turned around, and I was actually like, so the trees kind of came around, and I was kind of in front of some trees. So
Uh-huh.
I thought, like,
Little protection there,
yeah.
right?
And then there's trees in front of me too, and then it kind of opens up a little bit to the right.
Uh-huh.
And as I went to go, literally, it's right as I hit the throttle, the avalanche hit me,
Yep.
same timing. And that just threw me, catapulted me forward off the snowmobile, kind of lifted the snowmobile up.
Really?
Yeah,
And-
so the snowmobile was completely upside down when we found it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that threw me forward like this. So I kind of went like flying with my arms behind me,
Uh-huh.
like a dive almost. Like I pretty much
Holy
dove into the
smokes.
snow forward. And somehow it dragged me around the trees.
When I was watching that the first time, because you can't tell how open it is,
Yep.
you can definitely tell you're in trees.
Yep.
That was like the biggest question I had was, did you pinball off tree? Like, how did
No.
you not?
Dude, he got so lucky.
How did you not just get?
Yep.
Where I was sitting was there was a tree here and a tree here. And it literally grabbed me and went like that. Which it doesn't make any sense. But that's just, there was a higher power there that day, I think.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. So once it sent me face first, I had my hands behind my back, and I knew it just engulfed me, just smacked me
You
so
had
hard.
There was no.
No timing.
Did you pull?
No, I
Nothing?
didn't.
Okay.
Yeah, that was another mistake, made that day. Is I should have. When you see an avalanche, you should pull that right away, even if you're.
Yeah. So as soon as you were saying Abby, 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 had you
Yeah.
pulled,
Yep.
Yeah.
that I mean, if you looking back, that's what you would have done,
I
right?
should, yeah, that's
Right?
definitely what I should have done. Which realistically, I would think how hard that Abby hit me. I don't think it would have changed anything for
Really?
me. Just because the way it just swallowed me.
Yeah.
And yeah, just sent me head first. And so the only thing I just seen dark right away, and I could feel the snow just going.
Oh,
like
and
setting up.
are you like? In
I'm
this,
pretty much.
Are you like downhill on your stomach?
Yeah,
Face down.
face down,
Oh
legs
my
up,
gosh, dude!
and arms stuck completely behind my back, just completely.
Yep. So when we were digging them out,
Okay.
the first thing we see is his Abby bag.
So I'm face
Yeah,
down,
That's scary.
Yeah.
and all I could move was 2 fingers. That's all I could move my 2 left fingers, and I could feel it getting tighter. It was set up
What's
like concrete.
the sound? What was the
It was
sound
just-
like?
Yeah, it was like big 2. I think you can hear him in the video. Like you hear my breathing start getting like. Like really heavy, and then just go.
So, refresh me up here. Did the video cut out, or did you cut the video out?
No, the video stopped. So I was laying there, and like by the time I kind of realized what just happened and it all kind of hit me, I hear beep, 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 beep. And I was like, dude, I just videotaped my death. I'm like, someone's like, I thought my parents right away. I'm like, dude, I literally just videotaped my death.
They're going to get this camera.
Yep.
Someone's going to see it.
Yep.
And they're going to just watch and listen.
Watch Jake. I had no hope. When I got hit, I was like, Devin's buried, Jake's buried, I'm buried. That's it. This is it.
So from your perspective,
yeah, I had no.
It was like that came down through Jake.
Yep. If it hit me,
Devin's over
gone.
there, and there's no one.
Nope.
There's no one here to get us all.
Mm-hmm. No.
What is? Because, man, in the moment, how terrifying is that?
It was easily the scariest thing in my entire life. Like, I don't wish that upon my worst enemy. That was just the way that it grabbed me, and just the darkness, the quietness is just like can't even explain it.
Did you try and fight? Like,
not
was
really.
your instinct? Was your instinct to? Because I would get claustrophobic.
I think I did the quick one too. Like, tried to move, and I felt like how tight it was, and all I could move was my hand.
Oh.
And that was kind of where I realized, like, I think what helped me was just how bad it sounds is not having the hope to be saved. I was like, this is it. So I kind of accepted it immediately that this was it. And I just kind of went into a peaceful mindset. Like, I think my breathing started calming down, and I just was like taking a nap.
Yeah,
going to bed.
If those boys wouldn't have showed up, I don't know if we would have got to him in time.
Because what was your guys' game plan? I mean, you're shooken up.
Yeah.
Like, so.
Like, I mean, I was ready to go, dude. Once they had those beacons out and they got Mason or whatever, I grabbed my stuff and I went running over there. And I start pulling shovelfuls out, and it was pretty quick. They hit him with one probe strike, so we just started digging real quick.
The training that those boys, like, everything just came perfect.
Yep.
Was the sled was buried as well?
Yeah, we were able to see the track. That was about it.
Okay, so you saw the track as upside down.
Kind of like nosedived. It was sitting like this. It was buried.
Yeah.
Wow. So is that kind of where they started from? Was
No, you couldn't even see his sled from where we were.
Jake.
Oh
No.
They tracked.
Oh, so they were Bacon's on where Jake is.
Yep.
Got a signal.
Mm-hmm.
And then just started dialing in that signal.
Yep. They
boop, 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 boop,
Yep.
boop, boop.
textbook.
And then first strike.
One strike.
They hit. Did you feel it?
No, I think at that point, like,
How much time?
we're guessing about 5 to 7 minutes.
Yeah, that's what we estimated at.
Yeah.
I'm sure that felt like 30 minutes.
It felt like, but at that point, I can't remember if I passed out or not. But just like, in my own head, I said my goodbyes. You know, it got super peaceful. Like, it was so peaceful. Like, I just thought I was taking a nap, I guess. And that's when, like, I don't even remember getting hit. I don't remember any of the digging. They said when they found me, when they got closer to me, I think I had a mouthful of snow or something, but I was screaming, trying my best to scream. But I don't remember any of that. Like, I think that was just about to go, like, in and out.
Yeah.
Of passing out.
Yeah, he was barely conscious when we pulled him out. I mean, he was just like moaning.
Yeah.
That was about it.
So you don't feel the probe.
No.
You're peacefully passing away.
Yep.
As far as you're concerned.
Mm-hmm. I said my goodbyes to my family, and I had some core memories come through my head from, like, being a kid all the way up. Like just big ones, like a birthday party at the American Inn or something, you know, just like weird memories. Like, I just went on a camping trip a couple months before that. Like, I was in Glacier, like, memory of that came through. That's kind of like what I really remember.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's tough, man.
It is, and the creepiest thing about it is I've always been super close with my mom, and my mom called me at, I think I was buried at like 4:30. My mom called me at like 4:35, and she left me a voicemail and said, "Honey, what's wrong? Something's wrong. Something's like doesn't feel right." And I called her after the avalanche. She goes, "I felt something like detached from me," and I'm like, "I'm pretty sure that's when I was saying goodbye."
Wow.
Like, she knew something was wrong. That was
part
like the
gives
most,
me the chills,
the
dude.
bone chilling right there.
Yep.
That's like the worst part.
Holy smokes, guys. See, the video you don't, you see the magnitude, but you don't feel the magnitude of it,
Yeah.
you know?
Yep. It's
And you
definitely-
can kind of put yourself into that situation, but dude, just hearing like I was actually peaceful because
It
I
was.
knew I tried and like my fingers could barely move.
that was it.
There's nothing I can do, and I already know my other 2 buddies are buried.
And then when I did like finally like realize what was happening, I was getting saved. I was like, I think I started freaking out. I was like, dude, who's here right now? Like, who's saving me? Because I was like, they're buried. There's no
Yeah.
way. And there was a green jacket. I remember seeing a green jacket. I'm like, no one I know has a green jacket.
What was the first thing you remember hearing?
I
Do you
don't
remember?
Not really. All I remember is me just kind of start like freaking out, like who's saving me? Who's saving me? And the second I felt myself be able to get up, I jumped up and I just hugged the dude that was right in front of me. I was like, dude, you just saved my life. And it was just some random guy. I never met him before. And then I just went around and started hugging everybody. I was like, dude, there's no way. You guys literally just saved my life. And
Literally.
yep. I looked at Jake and I just was like, actually, I think I remember coming out and saying, where's Jake?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what it was. I started saying, where's Jake? Where's Jake? Because that was like, last memory or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And I seen him and I remember going up to, that was a core hug right there.
Yep.
That brought us closer than we've ever been for sure.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
How did Devin handle all this?
I think he was pretty shaken up.
For sure.
Because he saw. Did he see you?
No.
No. Because he was jetting.
Yep.
He was jetting. So when
He
he
was
turned back
gone.
around,
And-
it's just.
So I think he thought Mason was good too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Got
I
out of
think
there
he
too
seen
somewhere.
me. We both so he kind of went that way and I was kind of, went like this. So I think by the time he was out of the trees, I was still there. So he thought I was gone too.
Yeah.
Should have been. And in my hindsight, I would no good to him if I'm buried too.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of every man to himself to a certain point.
Yeah.
Because if I would have ran it out and been able to turn around and come save you, it would have been a lot different,
Uh-huh.
But
Have you talked with Devin at all much about the experience? Because really, you were able to partially unbury yourself.
Yep.
If those guys weren't there, this would have all fallen on Devin.
Yep.
Now that we know who was buried and who wasn't, you guys had much conversation about?
I haven't really
what-
talked to him too much, to be honest.
I personally haven't, just because I don't live out there and whatever.
Yeah.
But the 2 weeks after the avalanche, we barely did any riding. I was so shaken up.
Oh
like,
yeah.
A couple days later, we did just ride out to the spot and just checked it out,
Yeah.
kind of self-analyze and see what we could do different. Trying to
Yeah.
learn from it at that point is just, and that was even hard getting on the snowmobile again. Like just trying to even climb a hill. I was like,
Yeah.
a totally safe hill.
I can't imagine
Yep.
the mental games going on.
I'll never look at a hill again the same ever.
Yeah, I wanted to go out there because I lost my helmet, so I wanted to go probe around for it. And I went out there about a month ago on my
I was
dirt
gonna
bike.
say,
and
yeah,
found
you
it.
got it in the
Yeah.
The GoPro work?
Yeah, the GoPro works and everything.
No way. So you
Yep.
got the footage from that day then?
Yep.
That's cool.
Oh, yeah.
Did you have a recording?
I didn't know it was dead.
Oh.
Yeah, but I was just stoked to get it back.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, we had like the best footy from the whole year's from that day. Like
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
best day.
Is it
to the worst
bittersweet,
day.
like thinking about posting any of that stuff from that day, or is it?
A little
A
bit.
little bit, yeah.
We
Yeah,
both
for sure.
did like a post on our Instagrams, kind of telling our stories or whatever, just to kind of get the awareness out there. Even
Yeah.
our close friends that ride with us, it's just
Yeah.
Yeah.
happened to us.
So looking back, perspective has changed. I know there's a lot of. Maybe just like if you could. I'm sure we probably already talked through this throughout this episode, but if there were one or two things that you feel like if you would have done this, the day would have been drastically different.
Yeah, not do the one more.
Yeah, I'll
Hit
never.
it.
The one more. That
At
was
home.
it. And just looking at each other like we should have maybe self-analyzed a little better. Like, hey, dude, we're tired. We're hungry. It's time to go back. Like, it's
Yeah.
4 o'clock. But we just went for that one more hit.
I have this question here, and it's what role do you think luck played into your survival versus preparedness?
100%.
Yep.
It was all luck. There was just the luck that those guys were there and they had the training. There's no luck in their training that they had the right training and education and textbook plays all the way through the board, you know.
Weren't ripping up the hill on one more, you know, run.
Yep.
Yeah, there was something that saved us that day for sure. I mean, I just always think about, like, dude, if I would have tripped, I would have been 10 feet under.
Yeah.
Those boys, the hill climb guys, they took a video of the probe, like a 12-foot probe, couldn't even touch the ground.
Really?
In the middle, like, so it was really steep. And where I was, I think the people that went out and did, like, the testing on it or whatever said it was 18 degrees where I was.
Oh, wow.
So realistically, it should have ran off by then. But I think it had so much momentum coming down that steep hill.
Carried it that
So,
much,
yeah, there was kind of a gully there almost. And that's where it was the deepest. And that's where Jake was, and he was on top of it. And, I mean, walking from where I was, I walked, like, straight up, and then it plateaued to where, like, the snow ended.
And how deep were you?
It was like 3 feet.
Yeah.
So you're 2 or 3 feet
Yep.
down that way like that, yeah.
Yep. And
Well,
then,
guys, what were you going to say? Sorry.
just how those, kind of want to shout out those boys that saved me again, is they sat me down, gave me water, and they dug out my snowmobile, and they worked, like, so hard. Like, they were just shoveling like madmen. And I couldn't even do anything. I kind of went into shock right after. I remember just sitting there just kind of, like, staring off into nothing. And I remember looking over at Jake, and Jake's doing the same thing. And then that ride out was honestly even harder, too. Jake's riding out with no helmet. We're riding out in the dark.
Forgot to put the scratchers down. Sled got to like 212.
Oh, geez.
Yeah,
just
had to shut her down.
add more to it, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
and then we kind of split up for a second. And so then that started, you know, getting scary.
Yeah, didn't have a helmet either.
Yeah.
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 Guys, it sounds like, you know, this moment right here today should have been someone else sitting
For
here
sure.
on this episode.
I think about that a lot.
You know?
It definitely slowed me down in life a little bit.
Yeah.
Just looking at everything I do. Do a lot of adrenaline sports and stuff. So, like, now I'm just slowed down big time.
Yeah,
Take
I
a
feel
step
like it hit Mason a lot harder than it did me because he was down there, you know, saying buys. Like, I couldn't.
You
even
had
imagine.
some hope. Yeah, you
I
had
did.
hope. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, hey, I know like it was maybe a week or so. I reached out to you and I'm like, hey, like, you know, we do this podcast.
Yep.
If you're open to chat about it, we'd love to have you. And you were like, you know, I think we just need a little bit more time.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we were able to
For sure.
you know, give us some time and
For sure.
and able to, you know, chat about the experience. And there's lots of, you know, avalanche safety content out there already. I think it's good to share and talk about these experiences just because the frequency of
It's real.
reminding we have to remind ourselves that you know, you can have a ton of training or a little bit of training. The mountain doesn't care.
Exactly.
Your preparedness does matter.
Yep.
It asked the three boys who were there ready, right? When it was their time to shine, like they shined, you know, when it mattered. And that's a cool part of the story.
For sure. Yep. I've even talked to them boys this summer, and they're like, dude, that scared the hell out of me. Like, they didn't even ride for a little while after that either, you know. So.
And I think they had that Dante guy. I think he was kind of new to the hill, like the snowmobile in the mountains. So, like, he was shaking up.
He got it all.
I do remember giving, like, him a hug and, like, kind of panning back, and he was just kind of like, holy crap.
Is going on?
Tanner was definitely the one. He held the whole show for sure.
Yeah.
He's the one that, I think his video actually went the most viral, I think, was him probing. Dickie, Yeah, they took a video and probed it and kind of gave some context on it right after.
All right, guys and gals, Trail is one of our newest program supporters here at the Sledder Cast podcast. You can find them at trail.com. They are coming in hot with all of the goodies, all the backcountry essentials. A few of our favorite must-haves are the Grizzly folding saw with razor sharp teeth that plow through those pesky branches with ease. Also the lightweight ski pole strap, a real back saver when your buddy needs that 7th pull of the day. And of course, the Trail Hot Pot exhaust cooker, because hot meals are way better than cold meals in the backcountry. So head on over to trail.com, that's TREYL.com, grab your exclusive Sledder Cast promo code in the description below. Let's get back to the show. You guys were saying, you know, with that video, you guys had some people reach out. We'll kind of lighten things up a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit, but maybe some of the aftermath of, like, I know you had some people reach out, hey, we want rights to the video, and and you got people like news stations calling. What was the kind of the aftermath like?
Yeah, so I mean, there was so many people reaching out, and then like ABC started calling me, and I'm like, oh, whatever, I don't really care to do this right now. And then all of a sudden they start calling my parents. I was like, what? How the hell do you guys even get their phone numbers or anything?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it was weird, but
Came out of the woodworks.
Yeah.
Just chasing for that next story.
exactly.
They're mostly reaching out to you because then you were kind of like, you sent that one lady that she did a full review with him, like 30 minutes on the phone. She was from overseas too. She did a full interview with us and did her own like a report on it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Can't remember what she posted on, but it's out there. I read it.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like I had some people reach out to me for the video rights to the GoPro video, and yeah, I gave it to them, and I don't know what they ended up really doing with it, but I think it went out and did its thing because it was circulating on all the social media platforms for sure.
You're going to get a check in the mail in like 10 years.
It's
going to
actually
be set for life.
Dude, they tried paying me. I have 3 $1,400 PayPal things right now, and I can't get them. They're in euros or something.
Oh, geez.
And it's locked in PayPal. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't even care at this point. I'm like, it is what it is.
Well,
I ain't trying to get paid for
going
it.
from
yeah.
like I was dead.
Yeah,
to,
exactly.
like, a few $1,000.
Yeah.
you know,
I like just to get the awareness out there, just to show people.
for sure. Well, we'll lighten it up even more. We end each episode with 2 questions, the same 2 questions we ask everyone. What are you guys riding?
I switched from Skidoo, went to Players. I got a Players 9R.
So you have a 9R coming.
Yep.
You have a boost.
Yep, 24 boost.
Yep. Okay. So pretend that those machines are stock, bone, naked. Okay. No aftermarket parts on it. You only get 3.
All right.
What are the 3 that you are going to put on there, and wraps don't count? Start with Jake.
I'm going to go handlebars.
Bar setup.
Yep, handlebar setup, and then the suspension, and probably some bumpers.
Some bumps.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bumpers for sure. I'm a tree magnet. That's number 1 on my list. Is time to be hitting trees. And I tried his finger throttle, and I think finger throttle is my go-to now.
Okay.
For sure.
I like
You've been
that.
converted to the finger throttle.
I like the the break in the finger. It's just like a mental thing kind of for me. Boom, boom, boom. And a clutch kit.
Okay.
Those are my 3 right there.
I like it. Cool. And then the last question. I'm not sure you guys scrolled down this far. Maybe you didn't.
I remember the 3 questions, or the 3 parts.
Yeah, so the last question is, what is one thing that none of us know about you? So what is this like interesting thing that for us who are going to be watching this episode don't know about you?
What you got?
Oh, gosh. I don't even know. I stunt ride Harleys. I got that on
There you go.
underneath my belt.
Started your team Harley now.
Yeah, me and a couple boys, we all stunt ride. We do wheelies and burnouts on Harley Davidsons. That's
Okay.
kind of our thing.
Yep.
Little summertime
Yeah.
hobby.
Yep.
Okay.
What was the question again?
What is? You know the question. One thing no one knows about you.
Okay.
What's that secret?
Honestly,
We're
lately
spilling the
I've been
details here.
getting into like all the conspiracies.
Oh. Okay. So
Oh.
what's the craziest conspiracy that you are all in on?
Man, there's so many of them, dude. List goes on. I mean, the food system, things like that, the drugs, like the freaking pharmaceutical stuff.
Uh-huh.
You know, just listen to a lot of podcasts. It gets your brain thinking. You know,
It does.
there's a lot of
It
stuff out
plants some
there.
stuff in there to.
Yep.
to
The whole
ponder
COVID
on.
thing kind of brought it out, I think, a lot, you know.
Uh-huh.
So there's a lot of people that live by me now that we're very like-minded people, and it's just good to have those conversations, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
For sure. Cool. Well, Mason, Jake, appreciate you guys so much for coming on here, talking about your Avalanche experience, sharing your experience, sharing what you learned from it, and hopefully it helps all of us.
Yeah.
Get get more training.
For sure.
Just think about it more. Plan more ahead.
For sure.
Be a little bit, more prepared and encourage others to do the same.
Exactly.
So
just watch what you're riding. Look what's above you.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yep.
What Duncan Lee was on our podcast last winter. He shared what he learned from Jeremy Hankey. When you're riding avalanche terrain, always know what's above you
And what's below you.
And what's going to happen when this breaks.
Yep.
So there we go. All right, we'll let you guys get back to the old heydays shenanigans.
Perfect.
And thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Sledder Cast podcast. Thanks, guys.